Thank you, David, and I'm looking forward to having you as my parliamentary neighbour before very long indeed. Congratulations. Conference, for the first time in our party's history, we have the experience of Liberal Democrat ministers to help form our policies for our general election manifesto. Paul Burstow, Norman Lamb and Steve Webb have made a great deal of progress in adapting Britain to its ageing society, reforming the social care system, capping care costs, and revolutionising the pension system. Now, Paul and his Age Ready Britain working group have put together a package that builds on this and introduces some revolutionary new ideas too. The same goes for the Crime and Criminal Justice paper we passed this morning, and the Public Services one we've just adopted. Working group chairs Jeff Payne and Jeremy Hargreaves and their teams have woven together the achievements of Lib Dem ministers in numerous departments with long-standing Liberal Democrat principles to create innovative policies that will build a more liberal Britain. And tomorrow afternoon, we'll be debating the equalities policies drawn up by Belinda Brooks-Gordon and her working group, which builds on the introduction of same-sex marriage, the pupil premium, and shared parental leave to propose new ways to empower everyone to fulfil their potential. And now, of course, our focus is on forming our manifesto for May's general election. In the hall last year, we agreed our manifesto themes paper, and in the months that followed, the manifesto group, led by David Laws, explored those themes further with members at events across the country, from Aberdeen to Yeovil and Powys to Leeds. The consultation has also been taking place online at manifesto2015.org, where we've received more than 1,500 submissions. Drawing on these responses, the Federal Policy Committee and the Manifesto Working Group have worked together on the pre-manifesto we'll be debating on Tuesday morning. I would like to thank all of our working group chairs and the members of their working groups for the work they've done in developing the policies we're debating this week. I also want to extend my thanks to the staff in the party's policy unit at our HQ and to the secondees from PwC and KPMG for all the support they have given the Federal Policy Committee and the working groups. Conference, 18 months ago, when we started this process, I promised you a Liberal Democrat manifesto. No pre-baked coalition compromises. A policy platform whose only concessions were to the hard reality of what any government could achieve in the next 5-year parliament. And as you can see from the pre-manifesto we've published, that's what we've done. This week, we on the Federal Policy Committee and the Manifesto Working Group are continuing to listen carefully to your contributions to these debates on all 4 of those policy papers and on the pre-manifesto itself. The mission we'll take forward from this conference is one that I relish: to make the 2015 Liberal Democrat Manifesto one for which every member of our party will enthusiastically campaign.
I hope you're now ready for questions, because we have a question in first from Mark Pack, which is, what were the dates and locations of publication of the meeting reports promised for after each committee meeting at the March conference Q&A?
Thanks, David. This was something we were asked to do some time ago, before that, in fact, and we on the Federal Policy Committee did make a start in producing these reports. Some appeared on the previous version of the party's website and others on Liberal Democrat Voice. But I'm afraid that this is a practice which fell into abeyance, and I will take back to the Federal Policy Committee, which is re-elected after this conference, the reminder that that's a promise that we've made to conference. And I suppose it's also, therefore, an opportunity for you as conference delegates, conference representatives in that election to recognise those candidates that are committed to making sure that we resume this practice as a committee.
Thank you. I understand that Mark Pack does not have a supplementary, so we move now to Gareth Epps' question, which was, why have the public announcements been made that policies will be in the manifesto when the committee that decides the manifesto has not yet been elected, and when it is known that making such a statement, as opposed to this policy will be in the pre-manifesto, is unnecessary and misleading?
Thank you, Gareth. We did agree as a committee earlier this summer that as proposals reached the stage of having been agreed by the Federal Policy Committee, we would permit our communication staff at HQ to develop a programme to communicate them more widely to the general public over the course of the summer in what we called our summer campaign. I think that was actually rather successful in getting a lot of attention during the quieter political period to policies, some of which were not new, but were long-standing policies, but which we wanted people to understand were ones we were committed to taking forward in the future. I, as chair of the Federal Policy Committee, have not made the mistake that you outline in your question. Ultimately, I suppose the way these announcements are reported is not entirely within our control. But I hope that whenever I've had the chance to get this across, I've reminded people that our pre-manifesto is very much subject to the decisions made by our party at conference.
Thank you. Gareth, do you have a supplementary?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I did also raise the matter with the Chief Executive, but it took three months to get a reply. Duncan, recognising this is a problem about, in effect, careful use of language, as I said, there's nothing wrong with policy announcements. Perhaps you and perhaps I and others could brief the parliamentary party on what the difference is between the pre-manifesto and the manifesto.
Yeah, thanks for that suggestion, Gareth. Perhaps that's a good idea. But I would also offer a piece of contrary counsel, which is, if we were to go around saying about the pre-manifesto that these are policies that we like, but which may or may not be in our manifesto at the next general election, then I think that could be quite misleading as well, because although we haven't written our manifesto yet, although we haven't agreed it through our party's democratic processes, I would suggest that some of the items in our pre-manifesto are almost inevitably going to be in our manifesto at the next general election, because we know the whole party is so proud of them, and because they haven't just been dreamt up on the back of a cigarette packet, but have actually already made it through several democratic hurdles through the policy-making process of our party. So to leave the public or the media in doubt as to whether policies such as raising the personal allowance to £12,500, giving ordinary working people a £400 tax cut, may or may not be in our manifesto at the next general election, would, I think, not pay any respects to the support that that policy has already received on a number of occasions here at party conference.
Thank you, Duncan. We now need